Hello everyone, this is Tamara, your courtroom companion. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. This channel is all about narcissism, family court, and custody. So if you are interested in those three topics, this is the channel for you. If you are a faithful follower and continuing to come back, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by again. In today's video, we're going to talk all about narcissism and how it relates to isolation. So in this video, it's titled, "This is Why Narcissists Isolate You." I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why they do it, what they gain out of it, and I'm also going to share with you a personal story of how isolation with my ex-husband showed up very early on in our relationship, and what the outcome was of that isolation experience. We had many of them, but this was one that was like the first main one that occurred, and I'll tell you all about that, so do stay to the end. And as always, I am not a therapist, I'm not an attorney, I'm just a mom here who went through a hellish court battle and continued to be wrapped up in the family court system. I think this is year 9. I think it's like 8.5, 9 years already. And so I'm just here sharing my story. If you need support from the professionals, like an attorney or mental health therapist, I do encourage you to get that support. But hopefully my content here will resonate with you if you're either being represented by an attorney or if you're not represented, this information could be helpful to you. I just want to pause for a second and make sure that you do hit that bell notification and that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when I upload content. So let's jump right in. So what do I mean by isolation? I am talking about that behavior primarily in an intimate relationship, either a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, something like that, although isolation can occur in the other types of relationships as well. But primarily I'm talking in this video about when you're involved intimately with a narcissist. And it's that behavior that narcissist displays when they are trying to isolate you away from friends and family to get you all to himself or herself. So that's what I mean by isolation. It's their attempt to get you all to themselves for very specific reasons, and we're going to jump into like what those reasons are. So when a narcissist is trying to get you all to themselves, they are trying to make sure that you get rid of family, friends, coworkers in order to ensure that you have zero support system, so that when they inflict their abuse onto you, which is generally all the time, you will feel so helpless because you have no one else around you, that they isolate you away from any support system that you ever had or want to have. They want you to feel helpless so that when they inflict that abuse onto you, that you will not do whatever behavior that they find offensive, which is anything that is not 100% compliance with what they want you to do or say. So if you do anything outside of that realm, they're going to inflict this abuse onto you, and they want you to have no support system so that they can continue to inflict that abuse. Second, the narcissist wants to control you. And the best way to do that is to ensure that you have no one else around you feeding you any thoughts but what the narcissist wants you to know. So think back for a minute on the last time your narcissist displayed this abuse onto you or was abusive to you. If you had family and friends around, you would likely talk to them and you would tell them about the abuse. Well, they're likely to feed you things. If they love you, they're going to say things like, you should leave this person, or maybe you should try this with them, or they would feed you different things than what the narcissist wants you to hear. So their goal is to control you, and by isolating you, they are better able to ensure that the only words going into your head are the ones that the narcissist is feeding you. And so that's how they control you. They get you all to themselves. It's a very destructive thing to do. Any kind of abuse is destructive to you, but when you feel isolated and helpless, that's when they really have you. And by getting rid of your support system and controlling you, that is the way that they can ensure that they can still inflict that abuse. They really do want you, these narcissists want you to buy hook, line, and sinker whatever they say about you. Let's say that they say, you're fat, you're ugly. If they try to destroy your self-esteem, if you've got no one but the narcissist talking to you, over time, the narcissist is hoping that you'll believe them. So then if you believe them, you feel really bad about yourself, and then they really have you under their control. They want you to believe whatever lie they're telling you. They want to rewrite history and have you not just comply with it and go with it. This way they can continue to inflict this abuse. Third, the narcissist, when they try to isolate their victim, what they're also trying to do is ensure that you're not putting any energy into any other relationship but the one with the narcissist, because they crave that narcissistic supply that you've heard so much about. So by keeping you away from other people, you're not calling people, you're not going out with people, you're not doing anything that would infringe on the time or energy that you might have for the narcissist. And that's why they think you're there. It's very ugly. It's a very destructive process to the human soul, in my opinion. And so that's what they gain out of it. They isolate you, they get you away from your family and friends, and you're completely 100% dedicated to them. So they do it for many other reasons, but those are sort of the three top ones that I see that they get out of isolating you. I'm going to tell you a personal story about when isolation first started to show up for me in my relationship with my ex-husband. So literally, we were not home from our honeymoon a couple of days, and he went back to work, and he said that his job wanted him to move to Israel. Now I live on the East Coast of the United States, and he said, well, we're going to have to move. And I was like, no, I'm not moving to Israel. And so I thought that would be something that we would talk about. So I was literally saying my opinion, and no, I'm not interested in going to Israel. I like the East Coast, and I really wanted to stay. And he was angry, upset, and so, we fought about it for a long time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And this was very early on, like I said, right home from the honeymoon. And I want to say beat me down, but not physically, but like emotionally. He just tormented me for a couple of weeks over this whole decision. And finally, I just had no more emotion left to deal with it. And I said, fine, we'll just move to Israel, because I didn't see any other choice. He wasn't listening to what I had to say. And I was tired of the bickering. I was tired of the fighting. I was just, okay, so basically I said I would go. But as it turns out, like a couple days later, he said, oh, they don't need me to move to Israel. And I just was really confused by this whole process, and it took me years to figure out what that was about. I would put money down, I would lay my body on a track and say that they never asked him to move to Israel. He was very early on trying to condition me to comply, and he wanted to see if I would. So once I did, he was like, oh, okay. He got what he wanted. He got me to say yes, and he moved on. We didn't move to Israel, and I don't think we were ever moving to Israel. I really don't think that they ever asked him to move to Israel, but he just wanted to see if I would do it. And then once I said yes, he got what he wanted. And so it was, it took me years to figure that out. So I don't know if you all have had any of these kind of isolation experiences with your narcissist, but our community would love to hear about them. What was the isolation experience? How did you handle it? Do you have anything else to offer to our community in terms of advice on this isolation experience? Please do leave the comments below. We would really appreciate it. And as always, continue to come back and see the content here. Give us some ideas on the things that you'd like to see. We're happy to make videos here for any topics that are in the realm of family, court, custody, and narcissism. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.